What is going on, everybody? Welcome everybody into another episode of the Overreaction Buffalo Postgame Show. I don't think we're going to be overreacting at all tonight. Everything we're going to say tonight is truth. John Fina on the Overreaction Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. My name is Joe Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller, wired alongside my forever co-host, John Fina, former Buffalo Bill for a very long time, the franchise left tackle for the Buffalo Bills in the 90s. You can find him on Twitter at John Fina. Please do us a favor. Please like, please subscribe. Whatever platform you are consuming this platform on, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit those notifications. Tell a friend, all that good stuff. The Buffalo Bills, this is a cold open. I have nothing written. The Buffalo Bills, 4-0 Buffalo Bills, host I don't even know what the record is. The New England Patriots in a beautiful 2-2, beautiful execution of a whiteout in Buff. Probably the best execution of a whiteout I've ever seen. Not that any of that matters on a glorious day. And one of these guys is Josh Allen, John Fina, and the other one looked like Josh Allen. Well, Josh Allen didn't really look like Josh Allen. A day when everything pretty much that could go wrong kind of went wrong. The refs had a better game than the Bills did. I got a lot of things to say, but talk me off the ledge, John Fina.
Oh, my God. You didn't have an open ready, but I started thinking, Joe, do you take this team to be your lawfully wedded team for better or for worse through sickness and hell?
The funny part about it is in sickness, like there's some aspect of or group of folks out there that feel like, well, everybody has a bad game. No, this was you kind of saw this coming, right? I mean, the Saints game, they didn't look good. The Dolphins game, they didn't look good. I've got a lot of feelings, even from an individual player standpoint. This just feels like the culmination of, we finally played to basically what we've been mistaking our way out of, if that meant like a good play, mistaking our way out of some, like they just, I don't even have, I've got, how do you not cover Stephon Diggs? How does Stephon Diggs play on your football team for 4 years, at the level that he plays at, the week that he had last week, and you don't double cover him once in this football game? Like he's coming in juiced. Like he's coming in like,
well, Joe, I'm going to cut you off.
Please do.
This idea of double coverage, that's, if you're talking about floating a safety over the top and things like that. Yes. I mean, a lot of people think double coverage means two guys on a guy's hip. You just can't do that.
No, that's not what I mean.
And for sure. I mean, look, I thought we'd get deeper into the show. We have some structural problems on defense that were very much illuminated this evening, right? I mean, we had serious problems with personnel right now, whether you call it performance or actual physical ability at this point in time. But yes, Stephon Diggs had a hell of a game, and his quarterback had a hell of a game. Now, boy, where to start? I'm feeling a little tongue-tied like you. I'm feeling a little tongue-tied like you. I was actually somewhat impressed at a few moments there with what we were doing with the front four, bringing pressure. Guys were getting free, and in every chance we had to put Drake Maye down, we let him loose. And that's finishing. That's tackling. That's, angles, upfield shoulder. And we gave up the upfield shoulder on him a number of times. We had him in the grass. We had a chance to make the big play, right? Call on me. It's my number. And we didn't do it. And then what was behind the four when we had these opportunities fell apart.
Right.
And it was, and look, we're harping on the defense right now, but offensively, I don't think until the third or fourth quarter, when we finally got that second touchdown, did we have a single drive where we weren't penalized.
Right.
And that to me is just shocking because, you've watched a game with me before. I'm a pretty calm, cool customer. I watch the game where I want to watch the game. And I sit back during a play, and when I see a blatant violation of the rules, I kind of get calm. I don't freak out. That's a hold. That's screaming. I kind of mutter to myself, that's a hold. It'll get called. And then it's not. And you're just kind of, you get that feeling as a former player and as a fan, it's the same feeling that, holy crap, like we just we just keep rolling snake eyes no matter what we do. And we weren't good enough in every other aspect of the game to overcome the snake eyes, except kickoff coverage. Our kicking game actually looked pretty good today.
The Buffalo Bills were clearly in a game that was about as ugly as it could possibly be by both sides. The Patriots didn't go out and play some super great football game.
No, they didn't.
Even in the mess that game was, the Bills looked like the better football team, the better coach team. They've got the better players. And at the end of the day, you're playing the Patriots. You're playing against – I know that even as a former player, you don't want to say that the refs are for one team or for another, but there was so much blatant holds that the Patriots were making that were not called, and they're calling ticky-tack BS garbage on the Buffalo Bills. The touchdown run where their one whole side of their line committed a false start, and they called the Bills for offsides. I don't even – it's hard. Where do you want to start in this football game?
Honestly, there were moments in the game where I thought this was written in Hollywood by a bunch of accountants, people that don't even know the game. Why don't we do this and make it the most theatrical pile of steaming crap?
Right.
And then flip the script. And it was.
So what you're saying is that Stephon Diggs has a biography out, that he's filming currently, and it's being made by a bunch of accountants. So this is the Stephon Diggs returns to Buffalo game, and he comes out on top. I don't want to harp on the refs, just because that's the part of the game that you really can't do anything about. No matter how much I tweet at NFL officiating on Twitter, they've only responded to me one time in defense of a hold that was a phantom hold. This was years ago, and they stuck to it. That's clearly a hold. And it was and then a slew of 1,000 tweets. It was that is not a hold.
Well, the two calls on Connor McDermott or Connor McGovern.
Yep.
They were holds only insofar as if they called the same on the Patriots. Right. I mean, those were pretty ticky-tack. The second one on the zone left, he tugged them a little, but what I saw on the other side of the ball was equally, if not more, egregious. So that to me is you say you got to overcome that kind of stuff, but the timing of those. At one point in the game, I looked at the stat line. They had 3 first downs by penalty. Mm-hmm. And that just extends drives.
Correct.
We had 2 late in the game.
Late in the game, 2 in a row, 2 personal fouls.
But on plays, one of them, of course, was a extension of a very long play, so it doesn't really count. It gave us a more yardage, but the second one was a tackle for a loss with a ridiculous late hit on that. And then how does that not even qualify for helmet to helmet? Or, right. I mean, to me, that's as egregious as hey, dude, you might have to go sit down for a quarter of the game. Why does it always have to be, we have to throw the guy out? Can't you just walk over and say, bro, that's ridiculous. You can't come in for 2 series.
Right. So when it comes to the penalties, and people are in the comments talking about how we can't really blame the refs, which is what I just said, but you can blame the Bills. There was a lot of just undisciplined,
correct,
non-Super Bowl caliber. And this isn't the first time. Last week against the Saints, they were awful in that game. Did they not? I love that Coach McDermott comes out of or into the post game after the Saints game and says, that's a tough win, man. Wins are tough to come by. At what point are they you guys suck today and kind of got lucky? Because this is the culmination of that to me. And if this is overreacting, then it is what it is. Going to the comments, John, I'm full of a lot of energy right now. Ann says, we turned the ball over 3 times. You don't win games that way. I disagree. They had a chance to win this football game. For real. Bella says, and we love Belle, she says, Diggs tipped the Pats off. No, this offense looks completely different than when Stephon Diggs was on this football team. Joe Brady has neutered this offense. I don't even know what it is anymore. What are they trying to accomplish? The run was great. The run was good tonight. And then they get away from it.
I mean, saying neutered this offense. I mean,
he has neutered this offense. They don't press defenses at all with the pass. They don't press defense.
I don't disagree with that, but we're still outside of this game where we're clocking in at 30 points a game. Okay. So it's the Overreaction Podcast postgame show. I got to get you to pump the brakes just for a hot second.
I
I know the roles are typically reversed where you want to pull me back from the cliff. I'm not going Thelma and Louise and just putting it on the pedal like you are. Totally neutered is not correct. Okay. There are certainly times where he needs to go deep with the ball. He needs to threaten it. Curtis Samuel's back. Shavers is in the game. We've got to stretch the field. No question about that. All right. The running game actually looked pretty fair. We brought back split zone. It worked a couple times. We had to protect the ball a little bit, a lot better. And to your point, when you said, do you ever come in after a win and say you guys sucked, that, we're lucky we got out of there with our asses? No, you generally say that's not the performance that we want to put out there. We need to take a hard look at the film. Coaches just don't do that anymore. It's not the high school locker room or the college locker room anymore, where the coach picks up the folding chair and smashes it against the lockers. You don't do that anymore. It just doesn't happen. But when you break down from team on Monday morning, and McDermott's going to have some pretty rough words, mostly all the formation crap. He's not going to go in there and say what we're talking about in the comments, that the officials took over the game in the first half. He's not going to say that. He's not going to say that. He'll say, we had calls go against us because we weren't clean. You guys have to get better. Don't give them a chance to intervene. And then you go from that meeting down to the offensive meeting. And then I'm not sure about Brady's personality. I don't think it's quite like McDermott, but he's going to get on him and say, fellas, I'm going to show you 3 or 4 instances where this is not us. This is just terrible. And then you get into the position meetings, and you start, guys are like covering their eyes as you're watching the film. You're like, oh God, I hope he's so mad at the last play that he skips over my crappy play. But this game, that will not happen. I think everybody's laundry gets just put out there within the building.
So how do we want to structure the next 30? I mean, I got to go through stats and stuff, but as we have conversation about this football game, I mean, I guess we can do the things we liked and the things we didn't like. The things we liked will be short. Let's talk about the things we liked.
Okay, let's
talk about the things we didn't like.
Well, look, we like Dalton Kincaid, and Dalton, you missed. I don't know if you put this up. Did you put this up?
I did not. I'm waiting for. I was just about to say, Darcy, thank you for the super chat. And if you've got Darcy, a comment or a question, if you got a comment or a question that you want to ask, throw it up there, and I'll pull it up. Just because it wasn't attached. I was making a joke about let's talk about the things we liked.
Hey, pause. I thought the kicking game wasn't
you're not
terrible.
Supposed to jump, you're not supposed to jump in there. You're supposed to pause and then go to the things we didn't like, because there wasn't much to like. But
I'm ever the optimist, Joe.
You are. It's true.
There's only been a couple of perfect seasons. The Patriots had one. The Dolphins had one, both in our division. It seems like 100 years ago. Look, you go back to our win-loss record thing, right? And make a trade and say the one you thought we were going to lose, now you got to flip it. Right, because we all want to be at 14-3 or 15-2 by the end of the season, and if we both called this a W, which I believe I did and you did, then you got to dig deeper and find one of those L's and flip the script.
Well, I had the Bills splitting with New England, but it was effectively, I felt like it was the next one, because I felt like Diggs would be healthy then. Which, if he's not 100% healthy now, God help us the next time we play them. Special teams. So Tim Eschenfelter says that special teams are good defending. As far as that goes, he's correct. Clearly Kincaid was good. I felt like they should have just pumped the ball to him as much as they possibly
did, Joe. I mean, they did. They did. I mean, you can go through the stat line. What do you have? 5 or 6 for 85 or 90?
It's 6 receptions.
Okay.
You tell me he could not have had a 12 reception night? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm
10 reception night.
I'm saying that, you don't look, you take that, you give those to him, you take away a couple of great plays by Shakir, right? Somebody's got to not catch the ball when Kincaid does. And I think that you do better, moving the ball around a little bit more. And Kincaid is never our, wide receiver 1 anyway.
Well, we don't have one. Stephon Diggs had 10 receptions for 146 yards. What did the Patriots lose by him getting 10 receptions?
Well, I don't think that we gained that much more by, trading out receptions.
They couldn't cover Dalton Kincaid in this game. Dalton Kincaid was wide open a lot in this game. They couldn't cover him.
Look,
which was the same problem that we had on our defense as well, right? I mean, it's
well, listen. Are we going to go into talking about what's really hurting us right now or not?
Sure, if you want to.
All right. I mean, as much as I love Trey White, we're in a difficult position at CB2 right now. We're in a very problematic situation at CB2.
Agreed.
Trey is just not moving, not in recovery mode. And I've talked about it on our show a number of times. When you think about the way a cornerback plays, it's not about, being glued to a guy's hip. It's about they always know where they're going and you're reacting. It's about how quickly can you react off of a break or a move and make up ground and put yourself in a position where you can get a hand up in front of the ball, or make it appear to the quarterback as if my guy's not open enough, I can't go there. And Trey is not accomplishing that right now.
Yeah, and I don't want to be down on Trey. Like, I'm so excited for him to be back. I agree with you 100%.
I think you could talk about a player's shortcomings without opening Twitter and reading some of the crap that I'm reading. I mean, these are grown men, human beings who are working their butts off as hard as they can. And you know what? At the end of my career, I was done. I didn't need anybody screaming at me through social media to let me know.
We're not really talking about what people are talking about on Twitter. So, I mean, yeah, but Darcy does follow up. She says, do you think Josh Allen hasn't been completely the same since he broke his nose? And that's the follow-up to her super chat that she gave us. I think he's playing with a visor. I don't think that's the problem. But I'm sure that he's conscious of it. I can't imagine his nose is healed yet. It's only been a couple of weeks. Have you ever broken your nose, John? I have not.
I think I did. I don't know. I mean, I got like a deviated septum. I had to play basketball because I wasn't going to wrestle. And my high school coach said, you're wrestling or playing basketball. And I'm like, I'm going to play basketball. So the guard passed it to me down low, and my hands were at my sides, and I took the ball in the nose. Damn thing almost exploded. Tucson was almost wiped out by the size of my nose blast.
That's amazing.
Darcy, my real answer to your question, and this is my experience only. I got poked in the eye. I got a visor put on once, and I played 3 plays, and I ran to the side, and I said, take this damn thing off. I can't play golf with sunglasses on because of the shape. I think it changes.
Can't confirm.
I do not think that it has anything to do with his nose. Thank you for the super chat. But I would dump the visor and take a broken nose every game.
Getting back to Trey White. And I feel like there's ample time for us to have conversations about the defense and the offense. Getting back to Trey White, the problem isn't necessarily, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, I don't think the problem is necessarily Trey White. I don't think the defense is good enough right now to overcome Trey White, if that makes any sense.
Okay, well, that's fair, but Joe, when you go back and look at the film, I really thought that we did pretty damn well with 4- and 5-man rush, getting Drake off the spot. We just didn't finish. And when he floated out in space, you're chasing a receiver like Stephon Diggs, who is, he's known for finding little spots. You know what I mean?
He's a master, and he's known for being a master catching the football. So let's break it down from there. And if this is me being hypercritical or overreacting, I apologize, but I don't think it is. Greg Rousseau had a great first half, vanished in the second half. Joey Bosa is an amazing addition to this defense, and I'm in love with Joey Bosa and his energy and his effort and just the dominant edge rusher that he is. However, one game, the Ravens game, where you're missing the quarterback who's leaking out in the backfield a couple of times is unfortunate. When it happens in 2 games, that's really not great. When it's become consistent where every game you're missing the quarterback leaking out to the edge and he's getting away from you, it's a borderline problem. It's time to fix your angles. I'm not a football player. I don't know what.
You hit it. You can't, in space, quarterbacks now are so athletic. You have got to be glued to the upfield shoulder. And if you don't know what that means, it's if I'm the left defensive end, if I'm Greg Rousseau rushing the right tackle and I start beating the right tackle and the quarterback sees it happening and he rides the hump deep and he's making his way to the sideline, I now have to adjust my rush further to the left, because if I go right down the midline, guys are too good and too athletic anymore. I would rather contain the guy, have him stop his feet, and try to come forward through the middle of the field and have the other three guys who were somewhere in traffic make a play. And we did on a couple of occasions, but I see this time and time again, not just by the Buffalo Bills, by guys all around the league. Sure. And I don't understand it. And I'm with you. And you pick out, Bosa, but they're all doing it. Epinesa does it all the time. Rousseau does it all the time. And it absolutely baffles me. Our linebackers coming from depth do it all the time.
Sure. So you've got that situation. And again, this is me all building the case to cover for Trey White's ineffectiveness at potentially his age or whatever is happening or going on with that. And then you look at, Benford hasn't been necessarily the Christian Benford of last year. When you look at the linebackers, Shaq Thompson is the best linebacker on the football field for the Buffalo Bills, and he's on part-time. Like Terrell Bernard has been kind of spotty. Matt Milano can't stay on the football field. And was Taylor Rapp's name called tonight in this football game?
He's slow to react. He can't make a decision. What I'm seeing from Taylor Rapp is he's hanging back, trying to play both sides of the field a little too long. And at some point, you got to just decide who's got better coverage. Where am I going to go? What's the likelihood? And just let it loose. We're not tackling well in space. Oh, God, that was horrible by Cole Bishop in space. You got to make that tackle. We are not tackling well at all. And you're right.
My last point was tackling in my note.
We're not doing enough to support a guy like Trey who's struggling. Okay. And I don't know that Trey ever gets better than he is right now today. But you can't hide him either. You know, they pick on guys, quarterbacks and offensive coordinators. They will pick on guys. And Trey's got a target right now. What the best thing we could do for Trey, like you said, is get to the quarterback. And as I said, we got more pressure from 4 in this game than I've seen in a long time, but we didn't finish. And that's tackling and that's angles and that's staying true to the philosophy. And it was darn right fugly. And it's so, and you don't want to blame the officials, but when you're not playing well, they certainly don't help.
Correct. And tackling was a big part of it. Tackling has been a problem for Sean McDermott's defenses since you and I started doing podcasts. We've been talking about tackling for Sean McDermott's defenses specifically early in the season. And Michael says very appropriately, defense, not the issue today. And he's right. They played complimentary football today. The offense played just as bad as the defense effectively. So even when you switch to the offensive side of the football, I don't know what Josh Allen was doing today. Like that interception he threw from where I sat in the stands before he threw it, I'm yelling no. And then he throws it. And sure enough, the guy just stepped right in front of it. There was a couple plays where he's scrambling out to his right, the side he wants to scramble to. And he's got guys open and he's just pulling the ball down.
He did not take that shot down the sideline that he should have taken. He threw it back across the field. I give Josh only a slight pass on the pick because go back and watch it again. All of a sudden, Khalil Shakir just starts throttling down.
Right.
And, you know, for my dollar, Josh is trying to make that completion at that point in the game. He probably ought to just let him by 5 yards and gone with an incompletion. Because Khalil Shakir throttled down.
Right.
And you know what never throttles down, Joe?
The defender, the corner.
No, the original anchor bar never throttles down.
Good transition.
The original anchor bar. Frank and Teresa started the anchor bar, and I'll tell you what, they don't throttle down on their wings. They don't throttle down on their pizza, on their beef on weck. They got a full menu, and on top of that, they have 17 locations around the country. You can even get wings sent to you. One is opening in Tucson, Arizona in a few short weeks, and you can bet I'm going to be there. We're opening in Raleigh, Frisco, Texas. The Anchor Bar has got over 24 varieties of sauces and dry rubs to choose from. They're never frozen, Joe. That just baffled my mind. Even remotely, they get those wings in fresh. Listen, if you want a taste of history, if you want a taste of what all started with the chicken wing, make your way to Frank and Teresa's original Anchor Bar. There's one near you, and if there isn't, you can get them sent out for your tailgate. I can't say enough about it. Got to go Anchor Bar.
Anchor Bar for the win. Love the partnership that we have with Anchor Bar. Getting back into this football game, as far as just the line from FanDuel was what, 8.5 or was it 6.5? And I guess it doesn't necessarily matter. As far you would have been a sucker to take that line. I mean, a divisional game like the Patriots, Mike Vrabel has always played the Buffalo Bills difficult as far as when he was the Titans head coach. But the offense, as far as that goes, you could summarize I mean, outside of Kincaid and Cook was Cook, right? I felt like they didn't run James enough. I felt like the run is working. Keep feeding him the ball at times. But it felt like you could boil the offensive game straight down to the last play. There's 8 seconds left or 4 seconds left, whatever it was. Josh Allen drops back, throws a 12-yard in with no timeouts.
Yeah. I mean,
why not just kneel on the ball if that's what you're going to do? Like, where is the headspace at that moment? I'm standing there in the stands and I'm just like, that's it.
Yeah. That was it, Joe.
That's it.
Listen, you can abandon all hope right now if you want.
I'm not abandoning hope. I'm just angry.
I know you're angry, and I am too. There are times, and this is, you've seen it, and I've experienced it on the field before, where you're just like, sometimes you're like, what the hell do we have to do? Like, you have a drive going, you get a penalty, turnovers happen, and then you get a little breath in you. You think you got a chance, and then again, bang, you get the wind knocked out of you again. And it just seemed like this was that type of game on both sides of the ball, where they just couldn't overcome, whether it was a penalty or a missed opportunity getting the quarterback on the ground. There were just so many moments, and football boils down to a few different moments. If we could change, and I'm not even talking about penalties, if we could change 5 plays in that game, we win by 14. And those are the plays where somebody has to step up and get the quarterback on the ground, or finish that block, or Josh makes that throw. And we're lumping it all in together with this frustration, because the whole thing was just a hot mess. And I'm with you on that. But backing out of it, that's not a great team that came from Massachusetts. We made them a great team tonight.
Defensively specifically, which even puts more onus, in my opinion, on the offense. I mean, you had a chance to win that game. You've got the ball with 5 minutes left, right? You're down by 3 points. You go down, you score a touchdown. You impose your will upon them. You go down, score a touchdown. They're down by 4 with, 30 seconds left, 40 seconds left in the game. You force them to have to score a touchdown. Now, Diggs is giving you fits at this point, but still, you've got to expect your defense to do some of the magic that they've done. Terrell Bernard coming in with a game-saving interception, or a forced fumble there, or whatever. But the season is not lost. This is one loss. It's more just the display in what we watched, and I think that's what gets frustrating for us. Lose a game in a very competitive, spirited match. I don't have a problem necessarily with that, but this just
I link this type of performance and what we saw defensively a little bit like the Cincinnati playoff game, where we have enough personnel issues, whether by injury or ability at this moment, that we just sort of play this like scared type of vanilla thing in the back behind the front six. And you sort of get this paralysis by inaction, right? And you end up playing this very boring brand of football that makes people like you and me and everybody in the comments and everybody in their cars right now in traffic just so freaking angry, because there's just like no chances taken. And in this league, when a game is like this, you've got to say at this moment, we're gonna live by the sword or die by the sword. We're not going to go death by 1,000 cuts.
Sure. 100%. I like this question. Seven says, do you agree with Sean's timeouts? I'm guessing he's talking about before halftime, because when Sean was calling timeouts, I was like, what is he doing? Why is he calling timeouts?
Before the end of the game, I think. When
before the halftime was when they were questionable. Before halftime, the Patriots had the football, and like Sean started calling timeouts. It's like, and it's like, and my dad said, well, he's hoping to get the ball back. I was like, with 8 seconds? Like, what 10 seconds? What are we talking about right now?
Well, you think about that as knowing what you know now, but in that moment, what he's trying to say is, or what his belief is, we're going to do something great. I'm going to take this time out. Something great's going to happen. Then we're going to get the ball last in the second quarter, and we're going to get it first at the beginning of the third, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to stack that extra possession. And if that's the gamble.
Yeah, for sure. Jumping into just some of the stats from this football game, Josh Allen, 22 of 31 for 253, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Josh Allen led the day rushing, which I find that surprising. I thought James Cook had a better day than he did. So I'm a little bit mistaken there. Josh was, 9 carries for 53 yards, 5.9 yard average. And he did come up limping after one of them, which kind of hobbled him a little bit for, I think, a series or two as he was kind of limping around. I don't know if that was noticeable necessarily on the game broadcast or even like in between plays when you saw him
It
walking.
was, but I'm going to interrupt you on that. Sometimes, so the Patriots player on that kickoff return, they rush out there, right? It looks kind of gruesome. What happens sometimes, and anybody who's in the comments who's played any sport, every now and again, your body will just snap, crackle, pop, or you get this really strange feeling, this sharp pain, or this, oh my God, I was totally out of position with a body part. And it's like a fear thing. So when Josh goes down, he gets up a little bit gingerly. That typically is gone. You're not thinking about that. That doesn't affect him later in the game.
Gotcha. James Cook in this game, 15 carries for 49 yards, 3.3 yard average. Ty Johnson, 2 for 10. Khalil Shakir, 1 for 5. They tried the handoff to Knox, which was the first fumble that Dawson Knox didn't even know was coming. I don't know what happened there, but that was crazy. Is the Ray Davis experiment over? And I don't mean that to be mean.
No,
he doesn't seem like he doesn't seem to be able to. Last year, there were many plays. I mean, he started a game for Cook, who was injured, I think, or didn't play for a game, and had tremendous success. Every time Ray Davis touches the football or has touched the football this year, it has not gone well.
No, look, we're featuring James Cook more than ever before. He's on the field a lot more, and you get the fewer touches you get, the less feel for the game you get from the sideline. You're not really, a good running back, when he's in the game for 15 or 20 carries, he sees how the defense is playing, and you're able to understand the abilities and tendencies of the guys in front of you, and you make your cuts off that. There were 2 examples today, though, when James, I thought, a guy with great vision really could have broke a couple to the outside, and he kept it tight. And there were real head scratchers to me where there was a lot of space for him to go. And I wouldn't say that they abandoned the run. I think that we were just overcome with this sort of blah. We didn't know what to call anymore. And we almost to the point where, well, let's just see if Josh can bail us out. And I think we did get away from it. I think we have to get a little bit more creative, getting James Cook to the corner, to the edge. We did bring back split zone, which they blew up on one occasion, but was successful on the other 2. So I think the variety of the run game, and we don't know if it's installed or it's not installed, but we tend to get married early to 1 or 2 runs and shelf a lot of other stuff.
Gotcha. From a receiving standpoint, Dalton Kincaid led the day, 6 for 108 yards. Great day. Could have had a better one. Khalil Shakir, 6 for 45. Josh Palmer, 2 for 36. Curtis Samuel, 2 for 26 with the touchdown. The one touchdown pass he had was like that play, the way that he kind of came across, almost did the orbit, stopped the orbit, then went out, and he was just completely left alone. Keon Coleman, 4 for 23 with the touchdown. Had that great catch on that fling to the back of the end zone that was just 4 or 5 yards out of bounds. What an incredible catch. He had a couple great 50-50 balls, which is why they drafted him. Dawson Knox, 2 for 15. James Cook had a target. Tyrell Shavers had a target. Sort of a target. Tyrell Shavers kept running. And,
we may never know what the hell that was, but yikes.
From a team stats standpoint, pretty even. Total yards, Bills 363, Patriots 338. Passing yards 245 for the Bills, 267. I was very impressed with Drake Maye. He absolutely looked the part. When you hear people, I don't watch Patriots games, so when you hear people talk, like talking heads say that like he's got a lot of Josh Allen in him, he does. I felt the frustration that other people feel when Josh Allen breaks the pocket, runs to the sideline, and then throws a dart at an open receiver. Like, I felt that I was like, oh, this is how this feels, because we see our quarterback do it a lot. And so now somebody's
at the risk of interrupting you, which I don't really have a problem doing. You talked earlier about the magic, right? And what was really curious when you said that earlier, I thought they had the magic. They got
A little bit.
away with some crap that,
Yep.
they had probably 4 or 5, maybe even 6 plays that were like, are you kidding me? Right? Typically, you think a team will get 1 to 3 of those in a game,
Right.
and they
Right.
just kept stacking those up. The 2 categories, though, Joe, I mean, turnovers and penalties.
100%.
Turnovers and
100%.
penalties. And,
Even though the penalties killed him, I don't feel like the turnovers did as much. I mean, clearly I'll feel different about it tomorrow after I rewatch the game, I'm sure. I just feel like the turnover. Go ahead.
Well, we gave the ball back to them at our own 12-yard line. That was a field
Yes, we
goal,
did.
right?
Yep,
So
yep,
that
yep.
then the game is tied. And then
Red zone interception, right?
that's right.
And then
right, you call that red zone interception. If we have 3 points, then hey, guess what? We won the game 23-20.
yeah, you're not wrong as far as that goes. So like I said,
No,
watching it back, I'd probably think.
I know, I know I'm not wrong, but like I'm just taking you and I back from the cliff and going to the analytical portion of it, so we can just calm down a little bit.
The game ended less. The game ended less than an hour ago. Like, give me let me filter this out.
No,
like, I'm a fan.
Yeah, me too. And I was like, oh god.
Rushing yards 71 for the Patriots, 118 for the Bills. Yards per play 6, even for both teams. First downs 21 for the Patriots, 25 for the Bills. Third down efficiency. This is where the Bills actually did okay. They kept the Patriots 3 of 9. For a team that Drake Maye has been leading the league in that category. The Bills were 5 of 9. Neither team went for a fourth down, and then total plays 56 to 61 for the Bills. Sacks allowed. John. It says that Drake Maye got sacked 4 times. One of them he ran out of bounds. It felt like Josh Allen got sacked more than once. Did he not?
I'm going to trust the stat line, and yes, we did get Drake Maye down on the ground a couple of times. He ran out of bounds, I think, on 2 of those sacks, but those were
okay.
For the right reasons. He did that. It wasn't like, I'm padding my stats. Don't want to have an incompletion, but.
Correct.
The issue is we should have had 7 sacks because there were at least 3 opportunities outside the pocket where we let him go. And in the one, I mean, Daquan Jones is dragging him down to the ground, and I thought Daquan played some very inspired football tonight. And the guy's going to the ground, he flicks it out to Stephon Diggs. Come on. I mean, really?
Yep.
And those are the moments, the magic moments that they brought, whether it's the Stephon Diggs effect coming back to Buffalo. I want to take my shots at them, whatever you want to call it. They had that on their side tonight. And we were a little bit like, the guy that's pushing the door when it says pull right in front of your face.
That's hysterical. So we've got a couple of minutes left. I don't know that there's necessarily any reason to do the Dude Awards tonight. Just because I don't know that we've got 3 good Dude Awards on the good side. Do we? I don't even know. Yes or no? Maybe. And there's Jerry Strauss.
Look, dude, I'm perfectly happy shutting this pod down right now. I don't know the chair. Look, I can give you my 2 dudes of the game and then check out right now. I got a bag to unpack. Duke won. We went to Cal and won, bro. So
John Fina's not happy with me, Jerry Ostrowski, because I'm all up in my fan feelings. So
really? What's the topic of the night?
Look, Jerry, we're both in our fan feelings. I'm just trying to keep it from snowballing. And Joe's like, it's only an hour in, man. Can I be angry for a while? And I'm like,
I didn't say an hour in. I said the game ended less than an hour ago. Like, give me a chance.
You're an hour into your overreaction, which
correct.
We've gone down every road, furious and angry and disappointed and head scratching crap. And I think take the visor off. That's the solution.
Let's do a woosah and let's reset the moment for the last couple minutes of the show. Jerry, tell us your thoughts of this football game.
Well, I'm probably public enemy number 1 because I actually am blaming the only guy that's blameless in this fan base. And Josh Allen did not play well.
I blame Josh Allen. John Fina got mad at me.
Josh Allen,
I agree.
Turned the ball over twice. And the thing is we want to hang the hat on the defense. It's a defense fault, guys. They fumble the ball inside whatever. The defense holds them to 3 points.
Yeah.
Then Josh throws the pick, which costs him another 3. Now, granted, they got to kick the field goals. I get that. But still, there's a 6-point swing right there between 2 turnovers.
Bills win 23-20. You do that, right, Jerry?
And the Bills hold them to only 3 points off the bat. You look defensively, 4 sacks on the night. They did get I think they had 1 turnover from New England, but they had 8 quarterback hits, they had 6 tackles for loss, 4 sacks. And, it comes down to this. And this is why I feel weird about it, because everybody's like trying to, it's this, it's that. And you can say what you want about, the cornerback play. And it wasn't just Trey White. Christian Benford got beat too on extended plays. But the fact of the matter is this: young Josh Allen came to Buffalo and beat old Josh Allen at his own game, extending plays to the right while holding off defensive players and completing passes. I don't know what else to tell anybody. I mean, I'm sure once we look at the all-22, we'll see some different things. But this defense held the New England Patriots to 59-yard rushing on 19 carries if you take away Drake May's 3 for 12.
Yep. So the first point, you pretty much just encapsulated the entire show that John and I had, like perfectly.
I'm sitting here. I keep going. There's got to be more. There's got to be more. Should I get irate about the wide receiver room? And we get no separation. And I'm no.
Josh did not.
It's the visor, Jerry. Take the visor off.
I don't think it's the visor.
It's the visor.
I think, and I don't know if John brought this up, and I do think one thing tonight that the Bills did, and when they do it, they have a hard time offensively because of the way they're structured. I thought they got away from the running game a little too early.
Yeah, we said that too.
And the thing is this, right away, it's like, well, if James Cook isn't popping them for 15, 20 yards, it's not working. Comment is, well, he only had the longest rush he had is only 9 yards. Okay.
Yep.
Sometimes that happens.
It felt like he had a better game than he did, and literally so much so that I did not check the stats. And when I got to the stats, I was like, oh, he didn't have that great of a game, but it felt like there was opportunity for him to have a better game than he did.
We have to run the football consistently, and even if it's not popping for 15 and 20, they've got to do it to set up what they do. And it just seemed to me like when we got away from the running game, New England got a little bit of a lead. We got impatient. Josh got real impatient. And then we started, force. There were some play calls that were kind of like, was the first play on the fumble, was that actually going to be a handoff to Dalton?
It looked like it looked like it because of the way Josh came out. It looked like he was trying to place it, unless he was reversing out, and then it would be Josh's fault for the timing, right? He's got to call the snap and make sure that the guy in motion clears. So, well, what?
It had to be a handoff.
But see, even here, the fumble wasn't Allen's fault. It was Knox's cluelessness. Well, guess what? If it was a fumble, is a fumble. If he was supposed to hand it off, it was his fault. If he snapped the ball too soon to where the mesh hit the guy going across the formation, it was his fault too.
That's right.
I'm trying to find the replay right now. You guys watched it on the game broadcast. I would think you saw 7 replays of it. It looked from the stands like Josh Allen turned to hand the ball off.
That it did look like that on the replay. Well, what's interesting is we didn't get a lot of replays, and I'm sick of the NFL doing this. They focus on the coaches and players rather than give us replays. Like, I thought when Khalil got massacred on that final, the next to last drive.
And that's another deal. That's
like how do you not replay that? They don't want everybody on Twitter and coming after him. Damn. I'm almost out of words.
I don't know if you talked about this or not either. And I think this was a big thing. We offensively, I thought we played like we were so amped up with this whiteout game thing or whatever. We started the game like goofy, like play calling was crazy goofy. The plays were good. It was just like we got all up in the middle of it with this whiteout. We were out of sorts from the beginning, and then the officials, of course, never let any flow happen.
No, they were very much interested in what like being a part of this game for sure. So I have I don't know if I can pull it up. I have a picture. How the heck do I pull a picture up on this thing? Image
Well,
file.
look, Andy said it looks like Knox didn't take it, and a little further down, sorry, B. Sags said
There you
yes. McDermott confirmed in his presser.
This is the play. Josh Allen is turning, and you can see Dawson
you can
Knox
see Dawson Knox hands out. He's going to hand the ball off.
Yep,
he's going to hand the ball off, and they just
so why?
Okay, but we have to see though a little bit.
No, that was supposed to be a handoff. You can see the way that his hands are, but still, like, why do you run that play? What is it about?
Play. It's a wrinkle play, Jerry. Right?
A wrinkle play, it's obscene, is what it is. Why are we handing the ball off to Dawson Knox on a?
You know what this is? This is like the old 59S, except instead of bending the running back, we're putting everybody out wide zone to the left, and we hit it quicker. Right?
But we were giving the ball to Steve Tasker, not the 19-year vet tight end Dawson Knox.
No,
we run this play often. Like they have run this play many times in the last couple of years. At least 5 times in the last couple of years.
Oh, that's not a lot, and I wouldn't call that often either. But look, we won't know whose fault it is until you frame this up a little bit more. I mean, if Josh did put it too low or anything of that nature, we'll take a look at it.
It doesn't matter. It was a fumble, and the guy that had the snap is the one who's responsible for the fumble. It's the same thing as Carl Mock used to tell me every time the ball hit the ground on a quarterback exchange between the center, it's always the center's fault because he had the ball first.
We know different.
But anyway, no, I mean, seriously, and I know you guys have talked about it. Just, this was a game where New England came in with nothing to lose.
It's right in his gut.
Yeah, he just dropped it.
John, you're not looking, John.
Came in with nothing to lose. They played hard. They played physical. I thought Vrabel did a good job as far as keeping the sideline calm. I mean, you could see the way he was coaching that team with a ton of rookies, trying to keep it, down. I mean, Stevenson fumbles the ball and he goes over and says, hey, it's a long game. We're going to need you. And he's had fumble issues. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean.
I think this is a timing thing. I think Knox is there too quickly. They don't have enough time for it. And it's a quick handoff. So you can call this on Josh, right? The ball should have been snapped about a half second earlier, which gives him time to really sight Knox, put it in the right spot. And it's all timing on this kind of stuff. You don't want it snapped when he's out by Deion Dawkins because that takes too long. You got to time it up right. And
well, I wonder, you know what? And some people made some comments. I wonder if this is going to be a pass or a trick play. And a big part of that is look at the way Deion's going and the ball's going to the right. Deion's going to the left.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I said. It's like the old 57-59S where we're running.
They don't know what 57-59S is.
I'm telling you, we're running wide zone to the left. We're trying to suck everybody down outside, and then we're going to pin with the tight end.
This is what I'm here for. I'm here for this stuff that you're doing right now. That's what I'm here for.
It looks like it's going to be a great play if we could just hold on to the ball.
Fair.
Okay. Can you give me 2 more frames, Joe?
You're asking for a lot.
Nah, it's okay. Guys, I'm out of words. I'm as pissed as Joe. I talked him off the cliff. Now I'm back at the edge. Thelma.
By the way, every time I wear this jersey to a Bills game, they lose.
Well, can I burn it for you? I'm going to be in town. Let's do a ceremonial barrel burning of that jersey.
I've been on for 10 minutes and I'm tired already.
It's not my fault. I've barely been speaking.
John, I know. That was my point.
That is not true, Joe.
John was mad at me earlier. Like I had him riled up. He's like, let's just end the show. He did not say that. I'm just kidding. Yeah, but I mean, when you look at this game, so what do we got this week? We're gonna be able to break some stuff down this week. Obviously, John's gonna off tackle with John Fina show tomorrow. The Salen's off tackle with John Fina show tomorrow.
Baby.
Tomorrow's off tackle with John Fina show is going to be completely about 58 and 59S. He's breaking down that play for you, the Mafia, and you'll know what it is about.
They love the K-gun days, Jerry. Don't try to sell me down the river, baby. Half the people in these comments are, as old as we are, and they're like, "Whoa, K-gun, let's talk."
Right. That's right. Yeah, Kagan for Jim Kelly. Anyway, that's a joke that you guys probably get. Should get. So and then what? Tuesday we have Jenna Cottrell from Wham 13 and the Buffalo Plus podcast. I'm sure we'll talk about that or talk about this game there. And then 7 days of Sunday. Jerry Strofsky and Zay Fracassi. I'm sure you guys are going to talk about this football game there as well. Yeah.
No, we're not.
We're not.
We're going to talk about the start of the NHL hockey season.
That's hysterical. But any final words before I get us? Thanks to everybody that's hanging out with us. There is a ton of people. It's late in the evening, and there's a ton of people on with us live right now. Thank you guys so much for chilling with us. And I know that you're probably looking for it to be just as cathartic for you as it is for us as we kind of work through this stuff. But yeah, this is not the end of the season. The wheels have not completely fallen off. It just is an unfortunate loss, and I'm sure the Bills will bounce back and play much, much better. Any final thoughts from you two?
Yeah, I think after I get off of this, I'm going to go read some New Testament and sage the house and call my warlock. Maybe go see the Maharishi.
I think you got like 4 religions in there, John. I don't think it works that way.
I want coverage, baby. I need coverage.
I'm speechless. I have nothing. And that's never happened before.
That's true.
That's fair. That's fair. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy says more whiskey. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into the Overreaction Postgame show on the Overreaction Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Yeah, I've already gone through what we've got coming up this week. Hang out with us a little bit if you can. But for me, for John, for Jerry, for Ant, for Dan, for all of us here at Overreaction, and Zig, we appreciate you guys. We love you. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Much love. Go Bills.
Go Bills.